Hi guys, good day. It's me, Teacher MJ. Our topic for today class, it's all about finding the roots using the quadratic formula. So without further ado, let's do this topic. So this is already part 2 of our video class. The part 1 of our video, we saw basic examples of quadratic formula in which the answer in this given square root is a perfect square. So feel free to see the link on the description down below with regards to the part 1 class. You need to see this first video before solving for the part 2 of our video. Alright, now this part 2 class, this is actually requested from our students and our subscribers. They solve for the quadratic formula and the answer in this given square root is not a perfect square. Example, when you solve for b squared minus 4ac, the answer is 20 and 20 is not a perfect square. And what would be the thing that we will do if you have that kind of answer? Do not be worried class, we will explain this one step by step for you. Alright, so let's start answering this one, number 1. Now, once again class, before solving this quadratic formula, is you need to write the value of a, b, and c because we need to substitute those value in this given formula. So let me write the equation x squared plus 2x minus 4 equals 0. So our a is beside x squared. So our a, once again, if you didn't see any number before x squared, understood to be 1 class. So understood that there's 1 here. So our a is 1. Our b is beside x, that would be 2. And our c is negative 4. Once you get the value of a, b, and c, go ahead class. You substitute this value from this given equation. So that would be x equals, so once again, x equals then negative. There's in the formula class it says negative. So copy negative sign. Then your b is 2. Once again class, you will be asking, sir, where did you get negative 2? In which our b is just positive 2. This negative class came from the formula. So negative, then your b is 2. Alright, positive negative is square root of, so your b is 2, so b squared. So 2, then quantity squared. Minus 4 times a is 1. Once again class, if you have 4ac, if you have variables together with the numbers close to each other, it means multiplication. So 4ac, it means 4 times a times c. Alright, and our c is negative 4 all over 2. So in the formula 2, it says 2a, so it means 2 times a. 2 times a is 1. Alright, and then you simplify x equals, copy, negative 2, positive negative is square root of, square of 2 class. What do you mean by square of 2? So square of 2, it means you multiply 2 by itself twice. So 2 times 2. Once again, 2 times square of 2, it means you multiply 2 by itself twice. So that would be 2 times 2. And 2 times 2, that is 4. Then negative 4, multiply class. Negative 4 times 1, that's negative 4. Times negative 4, that's positive 16. Alright, let me explain that one. So negative 4 times 1. So negative times positive is negative. 4 times 1 is 4. Once again, if you're multiplying unlike signs, the answer is always negative. So negative 4 times 1, that's negative 4. Times negative 4. Times negative 4. So negative times negative, that would be positive. 4 times 4 is 16. So that's why we have positive 16. All over 2 times 1 is 2. Alright, and then you add class. So you add this one. So this will be negative 2. Let me copy here. X equals, okay, x equals negative 2, positive negative 4 plus 16. So 4 plus 16, that would be 20. Alright, all over 2. So square root of 20. We can simplify this one class. You find two numbers that when you multiply the two numbers, you will get 20. One number is a perfect square, the other is not. Now let's recall class the perfect square. You still remember class the perfect square? Okay, so of course, perfect square, we will start with 4, or you can start with 1, but that's okay class, we will start with 4. 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, and so on, right? We call this perfect squares. Now, you will be asking, sir, why do we call it perfect square? We call this numbers class perfect square because when we get the square root of this particular number, you will get a whole number answer. Example class, the square root of 4. What would be the square root of 4? Of course, the square root of 4 is 2, right? Why is it 2, sir? Because when you multiply 2 by itself, the answer is 4. Therefore, the square root of 4 is 2. Okay? Example, square root of 9. You think of a number that when you multiply it by itself, the answer is 9. Of course, the square root of 9 is 3, right? Because 3 times 3, that is 9. So, these are perfect square. So, example, last example, square root of 16. What will be the square root of 16? You find a number that when you multiply it by itself, the answer is 16. Of course, there will be 4, right? Because 4 times 4 is 16. So, that's how you call class the perfect square. We called it perfect square because when we get the square root of this particular number, you will get a whole number answer. So 20 class is not here. So check class, is 20 here in the perfect square? Nope, it's not. So the thing that you will do class, you can simplify this one. By what way, sir? You find two numbers that when you multiply the two numbers, you will get 20. One number is a perfect square, the other is not. Of course, in 20 class, we can simplify this one by 4 times 5, right? Because 4 times 5 is 20. That's why in my case class, if I will be answering this one, the square root of 20, I will write down the perfect square, then I will try to divide class. Which of this is divisible by 20? Of course, 20 divided by 49, that cannot be. 49 is greater than 20. 20 divided by 36, that cannot be. 25, nope. 20 by 16, nope. 20 divided by 9, nope. 20 divided by 4, yup. So we can divide 20 by 4. Therefore, I will be choosing this number. That's how I choose class for the number. So that you will not be confused. But if you're confused with that one, go ahead class. If you're confused, go ahead. You find a number that when you multiply the two numbers, you will get 20. One number is a perfect square, the other is not. First question, is 4 a perfect square? Yup, 4 is a perfect square. Is 5 a perfect square? Nope, 5 is not a perfect square. So therefore, we can use this one. One number is a perfect square, the other is not. Alright, so this will be, so I will be erasing this one class. Remember the perfect squares. So this will be x equals negative 2, positive negative, is square root of 20 class, that's 4 times 5. Simplify this one by 4 times 5. All over 2. So this will be x equals negative 2, positive negative. What's the square root of 4 class? That's correct. The square root of 4 is 2, so you put it outside the radical side. Okay, you put it outside the radical side. So this will be 2. Do we have square root of 5? Nope. We don't have square root of 5, so simply copy square root of 5. Once again, the square root of 4, that is 2. You put it outside class in this radical side. That's why we have 2. And the square root of 5 is none, so copy square root of 5. All over 2. Alright, so almost done. So since we have positive negative, so we have two roots. We have two answers. Alright, so let's separate the positive and negative. You pause the video class. I will be erasing this part. So this will be x equals negative 2 plus 2 square root of 5 over 2. And the other one, this will be x equals negative 2, then minus, once again, positive and negative, so we have plus, then the other one is minus 2 square root of 5 over 2. Alright, so this will be, now check this one class, can we combine negative 2 plus 2 square root of 5? Nope, we cannot combine because this negative 2 doesn't contain the square root. So once again, we can only combine radicals if they have the same radicands. So since negative 2 doesn't contain a square root, so we cannot combine. So therefore, class, we can do it individually. We can write this one as x equals negative 2 over 2 plus 2 square root of 5 over 2. This is actually the same, class. Why is that, sir? Do you still remember, class, in addition of fractions, if they have the same denominator, simply copy the denominator and then add the numerator. This will be negative 2 plus 2 square root of 5. Okay, do you still remember in addition of fractions class, if they have the same denominator, simply copy the denominator, then add the numerator. So we can write this one as negative 2 over 2 plus 2 square root of 5 over 2. This is just the same class. Do not be confused with this one. This is just the same. So our final answer will be x equals negative 2 divided by 2. That's negative 1 plus 2 divided by 2. So you can cancel this out. Cancel this out because 2 divided by 2 is 1. Plus, and the answer will be plus square root of 5. Once again, you cannot combine because this one doesn't contain square root. So that would be our final answer class for the x sub 1. Alright, so that's it for the x sub 1. Let's try this one. The other one, so this will be x equals, so once again, we cannot combine since this negative 2 doesn't contain a square root. So copy negative 2 over 2 minus 2 square root of 5 over 2. So this will be x equals negative 2 divided by 2. That's negative 1. Then 2 divided by 2, you can cancel this out. Once again, negative divided by positive is negative. Do not forget about that one class. Dividing unlike signs, the answer is always negative. And then 2 divided by 2, you can cancel this out. So the remaining will be negative 1 minus square root of 5. So that's it, class. That's the answer for the x sub 2. Alright, so that's it for the x sub 2. Quite complicated, right? But if we do it step by step, I'm sure you can answer this one. Alright, so let's try number 2, class. Let's try this one. So you pause the video, class. That will be the answer for number 1. Alright, so let's try number 2. So once again, you copy the equation for number 2. Let's copy the equation, class. This will be x squared minus 3x minus 9 equals 0. So once again, the value of a is beside x squared, understood to be 1. Once again, if you didn't see any number before x squared, understood that there's 1 here. Our b is negative 3 and our c is negative 9. So you substitute this value from this given equation. So this will be x equals, so copy negative sign, negative, and your b is negative 3. Alright, and then you will be asking right now, sir, why do you have two negatives? Once again, class, the first negative came from this given formula, and the second negative 3 came from the value of b. Do not be confused about that one, class. And then I will put parentheses. Now you'll be asking, why do you put parentheses, sir? Because we're not allowed two negative signs close to each other. And then we need to multiply the signs. So let me repeat it back. The first negative came from this given formula, which is negative b. And then this b, this negative 3, came from the value of b. Once again, this negative sign came from the formula, and this negative 3, the value of b. That's why we do have two negatives. Then positive negative is square root of, so negative 3, so b squared, negative 3 squared, minus 4 times a is 1, and c is negative 9. All over 2 times a is 1, 2 times 1. So this will be x equals, you multiply this one, class, negative times negative, and this will be positive. So instead of negative 3, it will be positive 3. Positive negative is square of negative 3 squared. What do you mean by that one, sir? Negative 3 squared. So negative 3 squared, it means you multiply this negative 3 by itself twice. So this is negative 3 times negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3, that's positive 9. So this will be 9. Alright, and then you multiply this one. So this will be negative 4 times 1. Negative 4 times 1, that's negative 4. Negative times positive is negative. 4 times 1 is 4. Then multiply by negative 9. Once again, negative 4 times 1, that's negative 4. Times negative 9 times negative 9. So negative times negative, that would be positive. 4 times 9, that is 36. Positive 36. Alright, and then divided by 2 times 1 is 2. Alright, so you add this one. This will be x equals 3 positive negative is square root of 9 plus 36, class. What do you mean? What's the answer, class? 9 plus 36. That would be 45. All over 2. Alright, so let me write down again the perfect square. So we have 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, and so on. So once again, if I will be answering this one, the square root of 45, once again, 45 class, 45 is not a perfect square. You didn't see this number in this perfect square. So 45 is not a perfect square. Once again, if this is not a perfect square, you find two numbers, class, that when you multiply the two numbers, you will get 45. One number is a perfect square, the other is not. So that's how you simplify, class. If the number in the square root is not a perfect square, you find two numbers that when you multiply the two numbers, one number is here, one number is a perfect square, the other is not. If I will be the one who will answer this one, class, I will choose any number that we can divide this by 45. Here, class, I will divide this 45 by this given number in which the answer is a whole number. So that's how you find, class. Find the number or the two numbers. If I will be answering this one, I will divide 45 by any of this given perfect square, and the answer should be a whole number for me to see that this number is divisible by 45. But if you're good in this, go ahead, class. You can answer this one right away. So let's divide 45 divided by 64. That cannot be. So therefore, this is not one number. So 45 divided by 49, nope. 45 divided by 36, nope. 45 divided by 25, nope. You will get a decimal. 45 divided by 16, nope. 45 divided by 9, yep. We can divide 45 by 9, right? And 45 divided by 4, nope, we cannot divide. So that's how I find, class. If I'll be answering this one, I just simply divide this number by this perfect square to check if it's divisible. But if you're good in this, and if you're good in this, class, go ahead, class. You can just simply use your mind. 45, of course, that's 9 times 5, right? Because 9 times 5 is 45, and 9 is a perfect square, 5 is not. But for some students, they're having hard time, go ahead, class. Just simply divide and you check which number that you will get the whole number answer. Or which number is divisible by 45. So, of course, we can divide 45 by 9. So, 9 is a perfect square. So, therefore, we can write this one as x equals 3 positive negative the square root of 45. That would be 9 times 5. Is 9 a perfect square? Yup, 9 is a perfect square. And 5 is not. So once again, you find two numbers that when you multiply the two numbers, one number is a perfect square, the other is not. So 9 is a perfect square, 5 is not a perfect square. So therefore, then divide it by 2, we can still simplify this one. So this will be x equals 3 positive negative the square root of 9 plus, that is 3. So you put it outside this radical sign. So that is 3, then copy square root of 5. So once again, the square root of 9, that is 3, you put it outside on this radical. Okay, in this radical side. Square root of 9 is 3. So you put it outside in this radical. So we have 3. The square root of 5, we don't have the square root of 5 because 5 is not a perfect square. So simply copy square root of 5. Divided by 2. Alright, and then we're almost done. So you pause the video, class. I'll be erasing this one. So almost done. So this will be, so we have positive negative, so we have two answers. So this will be x equals 3 plus 3 square root of 5 over 2 over x equals 3 minus, so we have positive this one, and the other one is minus 3 square root of 5 over 2. So you can actually have that answer, class. Since we cannot combine, can we combine 3 and 3 square root of 5? Nope, we cannot combine, class. 3 plus 3 square root of 5, we cannot combine that one. Okay, we cannot combine that one because this 3 doesn't contain a radical. Okay, so we cannot combine that one. Can we divide 3 by 2? Nope, we cannot divide 3 divided by 2. That cannot be. So therefore, you can have that answer, class. So x equals 3 minus 3 square root of 5 over 2. So you can have this answer. So this answer will be acceptable. Or you can do it individually. So once again, let me just copy this one. So you can have this answer, class, x sub 1. And this will be your x sub 2. Why is that, sir? Because we cannot combine this 3 and negative 3 square root of 5 because this 3 doesn't contain a radical. Okay? And also, we cannot divide 3 by 2. 3 divided by 2, that cannot be. So, therefore, this will be our final answer. Or you can have this answer, class. You can have this answer, class. Can we factor this out by 3? Can we factor this out by 3? Yep, we can factor this out by 3. So, this one, class, we can factor this out by 3. So, 3 divided by 3, that is 1. 3 square root of 5 divided by 3, that is positive square root of 5. So, you can factor this out by this one, class. You factor this out by 3. So, once again, 3 and 3, we can factor this out by 3. So, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 square root of 5 divided by 3, that's square root of 5. So, 3 square root of 5 divided by 3. So, cancel 3. So, that would be square root of 5. Positive square root of 5. You can always check, class, if your answer is correct by multiplication, class. By distributive property. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times square root of 5, that would be positive 3 square root of 5. So, you will get the same answer, class. Okay, so, second answer. So, let's have second answer. Second answer, it will be x sub 1 equals 3 quantity. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 square root of 5 divided by 3, that's square root of 5. Over 2. So, once again, we cannot divide 3 by 2. That's why you can have this final answer or you can have this one. So, you can have this answer, class. Second answer. This is just the same, class. So, x sub 1. Alright, and then x sub 2. Once again, you can factor this out by 3. So, this will be equal to 3. So, 3 divided by 3 is 1. Negative 3 square root of 5 divided by 3. That's negative square root of 5. All over 2. Once again, you can check your answer by distributive property. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times negative square root of 5, that's negative 3 square root of 5 divided by 2. Once again, we cannot divide 3 by 2 because we get a decimal answer and it will be really complicated, class, if you have a decimal answer. So this will be our final answer, class. Alright, so you can have these two answers, class. Any of these two answers are acceptable, class. So you can have this answer, x sub 1, x sub 2, or you can have the second answer. That's it, class. That's how you solve for the quadratic formula if the answer in this given square root is not a perfect square. So you try to answer this one, class, and you put your answer in the comment section down below. Let me check if you really understand our topic, class. So you try to answer this one. X squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. So x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. So you try to answer this one, class. X squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. And you put your answer in the comment section down below. Let me check if you really understand our topic. So once again, I hope you learned something new today. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. You share to your friends and dear classmates so that we can help more students. Once again, this is Teacher MJ. Have a great day, class. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.